Hey, everyone. Welcome back. I'm happy to be bringing you yet another training today. And today is kind of a bit of an informal one because I'm going to be sharing with you one of my client's stories. Basically, it's kind of a case study of how she doubled her revenue. Doubled her revenue from one group program launch. All right. So if you are a one-on-one coach, if you are transitioning into group coaching, maybe you've launched your group program once, a couple more times than that. And especially if you've launched it and haven't seen the results you're looking for, you have been stuck at, let's say, 15, 20, 25K in revenue, or maybe stuck isn't the right word. Maybe you just want to go further than that. This is the video for you. All right. So stick around, stick with me, hear this story, see if you can relate to anything that my client was going through at the time that she was moving through this process. And then I also want you to stick around because I'm going to be sharing more about my program, Six Figure Synergy. And we can talk a bit more about if it's a good fit for you as a one-on-one coach who is transitioning, because this is what I do. All right. I help one-on-one coaches to replicate their six-figure success. Usually they've worked with one-on-one clients and created six figures in their business. And now they're at a position where they're like, okay, I want to really leverage and free up my time here. So let me think about a group program. But then the transition is just kind of tricky. So I help them to replicate their six-figure success with a group program launch. 50 to 100K in revenue is what we're looking at in terms of that group program launch results. And we're doing that without losing your mind, because we're not trying to stress you out. We're not trying to overwhelm you. We're not trying to make it so that you lose your peace, lose your sanity, have to put your entire life on hold to launch. That's not how we do things around here. So if that sounds good for you, stick around. We're going to dive in right now. Okay. So first things first, what was the situation when my client came to me? What was she feeling? What was she experiencing? What was she going through? She had a group program, right? And she had more or less transitioned from one-on-one coaching up until like at that point, because she was no longer offering her one-on-one coaching services. She had decided that she wanted to double down on her group coaching program. And so she had this brilliant group coaching program that she had launched maybe 2 or 3 years prior. And in her most recent launches, like launch number one, launch number two, launch number three, capped at 20K, capped at 22K, capped at 25K. 25K is the most that she's like created in one launch. And she had hundreds of people, thousands of people, actually tens of thousands of people following her. And her email list was, I think, like 8,000 people or something like that. So she had the numbers and she had the size of community that was indicating to her that, hey, I should be serving more people than this with this group program. There's a gap here. There's something missing because I'm not. And every time I launch this, I am capped at a certain amount in revenue. And so she kind of wanted to work with someone. She was already looking for that kind of help in order to move past that 25K block that she was having. On top of all of that, what was also happening is she was draining herself dry every single time that she was planning on executing her launches. So what would happen is she would plan for a launch and then basically end up spending 3 to 6 weeks in her house, like just stuck inside because she was launching, because she was, preparing to launch, because she was writing her emails, because she was writing her sales pages, because she was talking to and managing the team that was helping her with the launch. She was just, her whole life became the launch. Her whole life was sucked into the launch. And I don't know if you're watching this and if you've ever had that experience before, but I've seen it time and time again with not just her, with a ton of my other clients, where their lives become the launch. And it leads to burnout. It leads to overwhelm. It leads to stress. It leads to you actually hating launching, quite frankly. I know a lot of people who love the results from launching. A lot of coaches love the results from launching. They hate the process itself. And so if that's sounding familiar to you, this is exactly where my client was. She was not getting the result that she was looking for. And on top of that, she was also struggling to actually complete a launch because she would burn herself out every single time. And what really made this situation so untenable for her and really so just dissatisfactory and unfulfilling for her was that she knew she could serve more people. She knew that her process worked. She knew could help them to get results. She knew that if they joined her program and if they followed her curriculum, they were going to get the results that they were looking to see. Okay. She was 100% certain of that because everybody who had come to her from her one-on-one coaching got the results that they were looking for. And so it was triply frustrating because not only was she burning herself out, not only was she not seeing the result that she was supposed to see, but she knew she was supposed to see those results because she had created those results consistently in the past, and because her community and her numbers and the size of like the people who were interacting with her on a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis, indicated to her that, hey, I'm supposed to be getting more sales here. What in the world is going on? All right. So she was triply frustrated, triply unfulfilled. This situation was just not something that she wanted to stay in. So she was actively looking for help. When she came to me, I actually assessed that and agreed with her assessment of where she was at, because she had the numbers to be making more and serving more, right? She had the messaging and the strategy to be serving more, but there were some missing gaps that were happening that were preventing her from doing that. And on top of all of that was the fact that she also wasn't doing any of this sustainably in any way, shape, or form. She wouldn't leave her house. She wouldn't buy groceries. There were times she would miss eating, miss showering. And I mean, we've had like discussions here on lives before where people have told me, yeah, I miss eating too. Like I completely miss meals. I forget to shower. I don't see my friends and family for weeks at a time or days at a time, or I barely see my kids. Like this has become such a norm. And so this is exactly what she was wrestling with, what she was experiencing. And I agreed with her assessment. This wasn't the way that things had to be for her. And as a matter of fact, it shouldn't be that way because she had the community to create more impact. There was just something missing with her strategy, with her messaging, and with her sustainability. So we worked together and we went through my 4 systems process in order to nail her launch strategy, nail her launch messaging, and also take her sustainability from non-existent to fully aligned, right? Like we really ensured that we aligned her launch strategy and her launch messaging with the kind of launch experience that she was looking for. She was looking for time to actually spend with her family and friends. She was looking for time to spend with her pet. She was looking for the opportunity to actually, leave the house during her 3 weeks of launch work that she was working on. Like she was looking for so much more spaciousness, so much more ease, so much more energy and fulfillment from her launches that she just was not getting the way that she was doing things. So we went through my process of first things first, taking care of her list building, because we wanted to ensure that we got at least a little bit of new blood into her launch funnel, a little bit of new blood into her new blood, little bit of a few new people into her community, so that she would actually be able to share from the perspective of, like nurturing new people, but also connecting with the people who've consistently been there. We also refined her messaging. And when I went through her business and analyzed her business, because that's the second process I typically go through with my clients, is a full business and launch analysis. So I analyzed her past 3 launches, looked at her data, looked at her messaging, and immediately saw that she just was not being as specific as she could have been. And so we got really specific with her messaging. We replicated more or less the same strategy that she'd been using. We didn't change the strategy that much, but the messaging needed to be a lot more specific. So that's the second thing that we worked on. The third thing and the third phase from there was really just ensuring that as we worked on her strategy, her messaging, now it was time to create all the assets that needed to be created and launch everything, but not just launch randomly, right? But execute her process, execute her strategy with tracking. Because that's actually the thing that made the biggest difference It's the messaging shift that we made in that second process that we underwent, and then the tracking that we did in the third phase. Because what was happening was we had shifted her messaging in that second phase and created all of, we had updated her sales page, we rewrote her emails and refined them so that the messaging was aligned. I think we tweaked her strategy slightly, but not by a whole lot, right? Because we just wanted to ensure that the strategy was fine, the strategy would create results, but the messaging, we wanted to ensure that was really resonant. So we refined her messaging, we created all of those assets. Hi, Nia, thanks for joining me. And then from there, we were able to move into that third process that I typically want my clients through of launching. And not just hitting the go button and launching, but launching with the intention and launching with the observation, right? Launching, paying attention to what's happening in the launch. What is this data telling me? What am I seeing? How many signups am I getting? How many people are opening these emails? What's the click-through rate? What's happening? How much am I spending on ads? Because she ran ads at the time as well. What was her cost per lead? What was her click-through on the ads? Like, we really honed in and tracked every metric at every step of this funnel process, of this launch funnel and of this launch process once we hit go. And that enabled us to see from the get-go that, and it's interesting because we had done all this work, but when she actually hit go on the webinar, the signups were slow. All right. Signups were pretty low. And we were really concerned. We were concerned that these numbers were not going to get us to where we wanted to go. Right. And the only way we could have known that concretely and objectively, not just, I feel like this sucks, but no, what are these numbers telling me? The only way we could have known that and measured our progress toward our goal accurately is because of that tracking. So we were able to track those numbers and we saw that, okay, we're not getting the level of webinar signups that we want. The ads that we're running are not helping us. We're probably going to have to do something differently. And so we had a conversation. We had a few different strategic conversations around what we felt like needed to shift, what we felt like we needed to do differently, which is while the launch was going on. So we had done the webinar, the sales emails were going out. We didn't get the level of signups that we wanted. And we had one more webinar encore that we had planned. So we did the first webinar. We had to repeat the webinar as an encore the following week, right? So for that encore, we tapped into her network and we tapped into her community and employed a really quick and simple strategy of outreach to the people that knew her, loved her. And we were able to kind of get that webinar out a lot more widely using organic, just networking, referral, connective strategies, actually being social on social media. And that really helps to boost the level of signups that we were getting for that webinar encore. And so we did the webinar encore. Then the sales emails started going out and she just started booking calls. Actually, at one point, I couldn't even keep up with all the calls that she was booking at the time because it was just crazy. Her calendar just got filled up with all of these calls from just that slight shift that we made during that tracking phase that that tracking process that we did for her live launch. And so, like, she locked in all of the calls that she needed to. Our numbers took a big turn, right? And I should also point out, during this entire time, she was living her best life. I mean, going out every day, eating so well, like so much better than she'd ever eaten in any past launch up until this point. She was taking such good care of herself. She was seeing her family and friends all the time. Like, lunches with friends were not out of the norm for her. She was actually sleeping. She was going to bed on time, which is something that she never did when she was launching before, right? She was taking her pet on multiple walks a day. I think like it was 2 or 3 walks every day, which again, she never ever got to do in previous launches. And so she was living her best life out here, living her absolute best life on top of actually seeing all of those calls just get booked in from just that slight shift that we made when we noticed that or tracking was indicating that we weren't hitting the numbers that we wanted to hit. On top of that, she actually employed a DM strategy that I now use with all of my clients, and kind of reached out to a lot of the people who were just continually engaging with her, but hadn't really taken the kind of action that we were looking for. So we implemented a DM strategy as well. Simple, like conversational DMs, nothing like salesy or sleazy or anything like that. Just real simple, hey, saw that you did XYZ, wanted to see if there was anything that I can help with. I can't remember like the exact script right now, but literally just to start the conversation and see where we went from that. And we also booked a ton of calls from that. So at the end of the day, she had over 100 calls, like over 100 applications come in. And I think she turned down around half of those because either they didn't complete the application right, or the application was not like conducive to being a good fit inside the program. So she turned down, like, I think she got nearly 100 applications actually. Maybe it was somewhere between 80 and 90. And she turned down half of those. And then from about 40 to 50 calls that actually got booked, we had maybe like 90% show up rate. And then we booked in around, I think it was like 30 to 35 people into the program. And it was only once she wasn't even keeping full track of all of the calls that she was booking. I was the one who was tracking all of that. She wasn't even keeping full track of all the calls she was booking and all of the people who were enrolling. It was when she actually was at the last 2 days of her call schedule that she realized, and she was just telling her numbers, that she realized, oh, wait, our goal was 50K. From 25 to 50, that was our goal. We hit 62. Damn. She literally shocked herself with realizing how far beyond her goal she had actually gone. And it was thrilling for her. I remember her just being so pleased and so excited and also so fulfilled. You know, like it was that real settled, thankful, grateful, at peace fulfillment, knowing that she was reaching her potential. She was fulfilling her purpose. Because this work that the kind of work that she did was purpose work for her. It was passion work for her. And so for her to impact all the people that she was wanting to impact, this launch was just not just about the money. It was about the impact for her. And so for her to be able to do all of that and do it in a way where she actually surpassed her goal, more than doubled her revenue from one group program launch, it was phenomenal for her. And those 3 processes that we went through were so helpful for her. The list building just ensured that she had an influx of new people to nurture and connect with, that provided, that energy of a launch that you're typically looking for. The messaging shift that we did in that second process really helped to lock in the resonance that she was missing from previous launches. And then the tracking that we did in that third process really helped us to identify, okay, what can we shift? What can we change? Because we knew the ads weren't working, so we shut the ads off, right? So what can we shift? What can we change in order to get the results that we were looking for? And when we finally completed all 3 processes, she was at 62K in revenue, more than double where she was before, which was at 25K this entire time. Excuse me. So those are the first 3 processes we went through. And then the final process, completing all of that, was the debrief, where we really looked at, okay, what worked well in this launch, what didn't work so well. We identified very clearly that ads didn't work so well for her. So she knew moving forward that ads were not a strategy that she was going to use. We very clearly also identified that one-on-one outreach was gold for her. We identified that her network was full of people who would support her. Hey, Teresa, thanks for joining me. We identified that her network is full of people who would support her. And so this enabled her to then launch again, right? And full up her program a second time. And so I'm sharing all this with you so you can kind of understand the 4 processes that I walk my clients through make the difference in between having a launch that burns you out, where you don't get the results that you want and you don't live up to the purpose and impact that you're looking for, versus a launch that feels good, a launch that feels fulfilling, a launch where you actually get to live and enjoy your life and you make the profit that you're looking for. And so all of that said, right? All of that said, she now had the foundation to continue to grow her revenue, to continue to launch and see the results and have the launch experience that she was looking for from the work that we did together. These 4 processes that I'm talking about are the exact processes that I walk my clients through inside Six Figure Synergy. Okay. So if you've been listening to this and if you've been saying to yourself, okay, Chelsea, I hear you. This makes a ton of sense. I kind of want it on these 4 processes. What do I do next? Well, let's talk about what Six Figure Synergy might look like for you. Let's talk about if it's a good fit for you. All right. So first things first, what we do with Six Figure Synergy, what I do with my clients is I help them to replicate their results, their 6-figure results, within the context of a group program launch. So if you are a one-on-one coach and you want to have a group program launch and you want to replicate past results that you've created from your one-on-one coaching, like say you've created 75K, 90K, 100K in your one-on-one coaching business and you want to have those same results in your group program, Six Figure Synergy is for you. All right, because that's what I do. And I help you do it sustainably without freaking out, without losing your mind, without losing your peace, without losing your sanity, without feeling like you have to put your whole life on hold to launch, or your whole life has to become about launching and nothing else. Okay. So if that's the desire that you want, and if that's the reality that you want to experience with a launch, then let's talk about who Six Figure Synergy is for. All right. We talked about the 4 processes because I shared with you how those processes work for my client. So who is this actually for? 1, your offer needs to be priced at 2K or more. This is what my client's offer was priced at. It was priced at 2K. And so I know that anything 2K and above is probably going to work for you within these 4 processes. Okay. Second thing is you have to have launched the offer before. It doesn't matter whether or not you hit your goals. As long as you've launched it at least one time before now, we can work together. All right. And I recently got a question from someone asking, what if you have never launched this offer? We can talk about that after I finish going through this. All right. So offer price at 2K or more, and you have to have launched before. All right. Have to have launched that offer before. You also have to know your conversion rate because we are going to talk about that on the call. All right. So you've got to know, you have to know what your numbers look like, what your conversion rate specifically look like. Okay. You also need to have 1 to 2 reliable sources of traffic. All right. Because we want to be sure that once we turn on that list building machine, it's going to actually work for us. And I also got a question earlier this week when I did a live about what do I mean by a reliable source of traffic. So I'll answer that as well in a second. So have 1 to 2 reliable sources of traffic. And then finally, you have to be able to commit to a 3-month preparation timeline. This is how long it took my client to move through these 4 stages and these 4 processes that I shared with you today. And so this is how long the process takes for me. Note, I'm not saying this is for every launch coach. You could have launch coaches out there that you could go to maybe 1 month before you want to launch, and they just help you. Like there are launch VIP days out there. There are tons of different options out there for you. But if you want to go through my process, if you want to get the results that I have shared with the revenue and the sustainability along the way, this is a 3-month process. So you have to be willing to commit to that. Okay. Now, how is this all actually delivered? For now, Six Figure Synergy is a one-on-one coaching program. That will change next year. All right. So if you are looking for a one-on-one result, a one-on-one experience, now is the time to get in because this will change. It won't always be one-on-one. It is a one-on-one coaching experience. It is done with you, which means I provide you with the guidance, the resources, the knowledge, the expertise that you need in order to make decisions, create all your assets, and execute your launch in a way that is sustainable and profitable at the same time. So I will provide all of that for you, and you have to be the one to own all of those resources and use them the way you see best fit for your business. I will advise you, I will support you, I will help you to make the best decisions. But at the end of the day, these are your decisions. All right, this is your business, this is your launch. Will never be the coach. I will never be the one to say you have to do it this way. I always ask my clients if that feels aligned and if that feels good for them, because this is their business. It's not mine. All right. And at the end of the day, they're responsible for the results, not me. Okay. I can use the processes that have helped my clients to create the results. At the end of the day, you have to be the one to run with those. Okay. So I will give you the resources, the templates. I will give you feedback on every single piece of copy and content that you create for your launch, because I want you to have that confidence that, oh yeah, this is resonant as far as we know, as far as the data that we have. The strategy, all of that, these are things we will co-create together, and you will have what you need to make the decisions you need to make to have the launch experience that you're looking for. All right. We'll have bi-weekly calls. I'll be accessible via email. I will give you feedback mostly via Loom videos so that you have those and can walk through those. And we will do this over the course of 3 months to create the timeline that you're looking, to create the kind of launch that you're looking for. Okay. You'll also have a few extra deliverables from me, because I will more than likely be sharing with you, like a report of your launch analysis and a debrief report, so that you would have actual documentation of the launch strategy that you used, how it worked, the messaging you used, how it worked, all of that. So you can use that for future launches as kind of like a benchmark and foundation. Okay. So that's kind of logistically how it works. You will also get a few training videos from me to kind of understand some of the concepts that I'm helping you to execute in your launch, so that you're not like lost and I'm not just telling you what to do, because I never want to do that with my clients. So that's kind of how six-figure synergy works. That's how it gets executed. And if you have any questions about that, you can always DM me before booking your call, because if this sounds like a good fit for you, if this sounds like something you're interested in, the next step would be to book a call. All right. So what you need to do is click on the link in my bio and just lock in your call. From the moment you book the call, I will also send you a follow-up email, because there are a few things that I need from you before that call. But once you lock in your call, I will let you know whether that call is good to go based on the application you fill out afterwards, and we can have a conversation to confirm that six-figure synergy is your best next step. Okay, so click the link in my bio. Hey, Rebecca, click the link in my bio. Go ahead and just book a call. Now, if you have any questions, for example, let's say this is your first time launching your group program, and you're wondering to yourself, okay, Chelsea, you said I have to have launched this one time, but I haven't launched it yet. Am I a good fit for six-figure synergy? You may not be the best fit for six-figure synergy. I'm not gonna just let you into the program and just take your money when I'm not sure that I can deliver results for you. But the best way for me to find that out is for you to actually answer all the questions that I send you once you book your call. Okay. So if you're not sure, if you're wondering, if you don't check one of the boxes, let's say you have an offer that's like $1,700 instead of $2,000 and you're wondering about it, the best next step for you would be to book the call. That's all. All right. Because I can accurately assess whether it's a good fit for you or not based on how you answer the application question. All right. If it's not a good fit, I will recommend either another paid or free resource from me or other coaches that I know that will be able to help you. All right. What do I mean by having 1 to 2 reliable traffic sources? That was a question that came up in another live, and I just want to address it here as well. What I'm talking about is any traffic source that you have used in the past that has created names and email addresses in your email list. Okay. So it's caused new people to join your email list as a result of showing up and using that traffic source. So this can be your podcast. This can be a summit that you did. This can be anytime you show up on Instagram and ask people to join your list. This can be a referral program that you have. This can be anything, your blog, your YouTube channel, TikTok. I don't care. All right, as long as you have one reliable source, 1 to 2 reliable sources of that traffic, then we are good to go, because that's going to really help us in our list building phase. If you don't have that, we're going to be in a little bit of trouble, and I won't be able to tell you confidently, hey, these results are the results we're going to get, because you won't have that reliable source of traffic. If you don't have it, again, if you check all the boxes but you don't have that, book a call, let's have a conversation, and let's figure out if this is a good fit for you. And if not, as I said, I can recommend something else, either from me or from someone else, okay? Another question that I've seen come up is, Chelsea, you're talking about emails, you're talking about your sales page, you're talking about your landing page, et cetera, et cetera. I don't like writing copy. I don't like writing emails. I don't like doing any of that stuff. What do I do? If that is you, I feel you. You have 2 options with 6-figure synergy. One, you can rely on me, because what I do for all my clients at this stage is I actually give them the email templates. And these email templates are customized to you and to your email processes and the way you speak and your messaging. So we will actually personalize and customize your email sequences to your messaging. And I will send you literally the template for what your email needs to say. I will mock up a subject line, a couple subject line options for you, and then say, okay, this is how you begin the email. This is what you say in the middle. This is what you say at the end. Then you sign off and give the call to action. That's literally what I do. And sometimes I'm helping my clients do this for like 16, 20, 30 emails for an entire launch. All right. So you're getting so much gold when you work with me inside 6-figure synergy. And this just makes the process of email writing so much easier. It makes the process of editing your sales page, it makes the process of editing your landing page so much easier. If you don't want to do it at all, you can hire me to do that for you, and you can get 6-figure synergy at the VIP level. All right. And we can talk about what that VIP level looks like if that's something that you are down for. Okay. So those are some of the main questions that I've been seeing come up. If any of that sounds good to you, if any of that sounds like, yes, Chelsea, I'm interested, again, all you have to do is click the link in my bio or click the link in my description box, depending on what platform that you are on, and you will be able to book a call, talk with me, and see if 6-figure synergy is your best next step. All right, y'all? Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this was super helpful for you. I hope that you could kind of see the power behind these 4 processes that I'm sharing with you, and how each step of the way helps you to create not just the revenue, but the sustainability that you are looking for with launches. All right. I will see you next time. I hope you have a great day. I look forward to seeing you all on a call talking with me about 6-figure synergy.